Relax by listening to an interview I did with Richard. This will be part 3 of the interview with Richard, and it's on country, coaching and caring. And at the time being mesmerised by sheep work you'll see on the family farm. And then the second part of this video is part 2 that Sarah and Ryan will talk about stylish clothing and then caring for the wardrobe. Hi, this is your country uncle, Uncle John. Here I tell stories about family farmers and the wisdom of wool. And so there are more rest areas, there are increasing number of rest areas on the highways?
Not nearly enough.
Right.
And that goes to how the flexibility laws, or how many hours you can do and when you can do them, if you make them more flexible,
right,
then the cost of putting more and more rest areas in can be overcome. So there's 2 winners if they get it right.
Right. Okay, the second point is animal welfare. Your thoughts, so this is, can you just, before the interview you were talking about how humans do not like travelling on a full stomach. So can you just tell us about your animal welfare and how that's improved over the years?
We've worked very hard. On the trains they had grated floors for the animals to walk on, and they had very long periods in the old days off food and water. Then we learnt that you could back a truck in, put them straight on. You couldn't have, in the early ones you did have a graded floor, but that meant it sprued out over the sides, and that wasn't satisfactory and it was too heavy. So we needed stock to be prepared for the journey, like everybody should be, and that didn't really happen. So you get a lot of waste, and that's a huge problem, still is. And we've had surveys, and the one overwhelming thing is preparation, getting the animals prepared for the journey, and that's a point of conflict, I suppose, because I think people feel that they'd like to have a full stomach and look good, but they don't look good when they get to the market or to the abattoir, and they're uncomfortable, the same as we are if we've got a very full stomach. And we're a lot better if we're travelling a long way to plan ahead as humans, and we've got to think like that for the animals that are in our care.
And so you think animal welfare has improved a lot, but has still got room for improvement? Or
I think it's remarkably good. I in the livestock industry, I really do. We've got to adjust. We did a lot of work into one pretty progressive, well, more than one, but progressive regional abattoirs, and that we moved to a just-in-time thing where in the old days they got on a train and it might have taken them a couple of days from when they left home.
Yeah.
Now we've got trucks that can get 12 hours, get animals a hell of a long way, prepared well, they travel well. We've brought sheep right across Australia, and again, that's been controlled now, and usually you break once. You can do it within the law, but they're mainly giving them one spell. But like humans, if you get off at Singapore flying to London, it's good to stretch your legs, but you don't eat a lot, and it's a bit like that with animals. They don't drink a lot because they're nervous, they don't know what the water's like, and they're a bit like us.
The third point is driver fatigue related issues for the future. Would you like to comment on that?
Well, all to do with, for my money, flexibility is the key issue for all managing fatigue in life. I think you've got to have flexibility for people. I think right across the workforce, we're talking about flexibility, working hours, how you do it. Well, in livestock haulage, there's so many variables, from the weather to the mud or the dust, the mood of the animals, the mood of the owner of the animals, the mood of the truck driver and the mood of the dogs and the weather. You put all that together to make a rule book that is hard and fast. I don't think it's practical. We've got very good paperwork now and technology to get a trace back of the animals and all of that part of it. But I keep saying I've fought all my life for flexibility for drivers. It's the key, because we've moved from the fixed structure of rail, which was inflexible but very efficient, but very inflexible, and I don't believe anywhere near as good for the animals as the modern technology is.
Yeah, yes. The fourth point is, it says here, just who will take on the business in the future. So for succession planning, Richard, do you... so you finished you don't have your trucking business anymore, but that hasn't been passed on to the next generation. Is that in your case?
Well, in our case, we did sell the trucks or the company to my son, and he's been involved in grain more than stock, and he did have his own trucks, but the succession plan, he's moved on to doing other jobs, and basically the succession planning is a real problem for the industry, because you've got to be independent. The sort of people that do it are independent thinking people, and the very ordered and structured are really not suited to it. And we're looking for a new generation, probably from people that have come from other parts of the world who understand flexibility in a strange way. And I think that's where the workforce is going to come from, because we've moved from family companies and family things to pretty big fleets, and you're just working for a boss, and every fleet is having terrible trouble getting drivers, just terrible trouble. And I think they'll be the new guys from a different country, probably.
Yes, no, I've seen from in Dubbo, I'm stopping at the service station, the people that get out of the trucks are, Indians and, different, not just Anglo-Saxon white men. The fifth and last point is traceability concerns in stock carrying. Could you just talk about that for a minute, Richard, the traceability of the animals?
Well, I think it's pretty good. The truck driver has to have a paperwork that can be checked by all concerned, all the different authorities, and he can't travel without declared paperwork signed off by whoever's owns the stock, and I think the traceability is pretty good. The National Vendor Declaration that was introduced in New South Wales years ago now allows, we moved from the old permits in the old days to a declaration by the farmer and the truck driver of what's on the truck, what health's been taken, what drugs it's been on, and they're legitimate drugs, not bad ones, for the sheep and the cattle.
Yep.
And what whole track record, people don't understand how detailed that is. And when you relate that, I always relate this, if I might say, to the people in Sydney. When you watch a train at Wynyard or at peak hour and see how many people are on the train standing, or you look in a jet plane flying with all the people jammed, and you look at the space that is given to humans to travel, and then you look at what a sheep or cattle being carted by both the law and by any sane truck driver, and the animals doing better than a lot of the humans. And he's paying a lot less for the trip too.
If a manufacturer has taken the time to create a garment with hidden zips, this means that they are aware how damaging the zips can be, that they might snag on the material, catch the material, and then, of course they don't want that to happen. So if they've taken the time to put a zip in and make it seamless and hide it, then they have taken that extra little care, and it's a sign of good quality. Always make sure to take a look at the fabrics that you're buying. So look at the care instructions and look at the fabric composition. The fewer blends that are in a garment, the better. So you want something with 100% cotton, 100% silk. If there's 3-4 blends and 2% cashmere, then the quality is coming right down. It's going to be a cheaper way to produce these things while still saying, oh, it's a cashmere top, but it's actually got 2% cashmere in it. So go for a minimum number of blends in your garment. Also check the care instructions, that they give good instructions in terms of the care. That means they intend for that garment to last you well, that there's proper instructions to follow so that it will last you a long time. A little test you can do in the shop is to test the recovery of the fabric. So this means that you will give it maybe a little stretch, a pull on the fabric, and you will see how easily it returns to its original form. There shouldn't be any limp material or stretching from the material just after giving it a little bit of a tug. So you want to test the recovery of the material. If the garment has embellishments in it, so there might be beads or buttons or something like that, then the manufacturer should provide a little bag of extra bits and pieces so that you can repair the garment. Now this is not a sign of they expect your garment to fall apart. They actually expect that your garment is going to last you long enough so that you will be able to repair it and continue to wear it. So having those extra little pieces is a good sign. If you are dealing with leather mostly, check that the garment or shoes are put together with stitches rather than glue. Glue will come apart, particularly in hotter countries. Good stitching is going to hold that garment together much longer than glue will. If an item is being sold at a very low price point, then that is a sure indication that the quality is not there. If it seems too good to be true, then it probably is. Once you start reaching those higher price points, do check all those things that are present, the good stitching, the hemlines, the patterns matching up, and make sure that it deserves that price point and that you're getting what you paid for. I hope now that you'll be able to spot quality garments. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Take care.
And a big thank you to Sarah Ryan for the second part of Stylish Clothes. And remember, life's short. Find your joy. And always remember it, so you always enjoy.